But it's really disappointing today because I can't do a live stream. I can't get the Wi-Fi to work. These things are really uncanny. They happen every now and then. I feel like technology's got a mind of its own. So I'm going to do a video anyway and speak on a lot of things that will help a lot of people, because this is mentorship as far as I'm concerned. Mentorship is about having mature conversations that can really help people, support people, change their life. And also, you know, these are real struggles that we all go through. And obviously, you know, not getting an internet connection is not the end of the world. I'm going to speak on things that I'm going through myself. Because I think people can easily forget, you know, when you're a teacher and you're a mentor and you're seen as successful, people immediately assume that you don't have challenges, which is not true. You know, I'm still human, still got challenges, and the life that I've chosen to live for the last more than a decade, the whole life is based on daily challenges. It's based on living a positive life, being accountable, growing, helping other people, being a better person, having the courage to admit to your mistakes and try and address them. So for as long as you're living a life like that, it's never going to be continuously comfortable, certainly not going to be happy all the time. The idea of happiness is actually not true. It's naive. Now, of course, it's nice to be happy and it's a lovely feeling, but it's not permanent. No one is happy all the time, but you can be grateful anytime you want, and that's what I'm practicing now. So disappointed about the internet connection because I've been really enjoying doing the live streams, but I'm grateful that I can still make videos. I can go home or somewhere else where I can get a connection. I've done a lot of live streams, not the end of the world. I'm grateful. I had a really good day today. It's been a day of growth. Mentored a client yesterday. So I'm going to speak on today, you know, my experience with dealing with, you know, all of life's challenges, you know, success, happiness, loss, grief, all these things. At some point, I've realized this, right? At some point, all of us go through all these things or some of these things, right? All of us do. So recently, two of the major things that I've been dealing with, which have been extremely difficult, really hard. The first one, it's the hardest, is the death of my close friend who took his own life to suicide. That has been just very difficult for me, obviously, because I loved him very much, still love him. We were really close. We spoke every day without fail on WhatsApp, you know, audio message, and we met up like once a week. I would meet him in Hammersmith, go for coffee with him, go to his place, and we'd have really good, you know, what friends do, deep conversations and have coffee, and we had a great time. So I'm just devastated by his loss, and I had to attend his funeral, and I'm devastated for his parents, for him. I miss him every day. It's agony, it's really painful, and I know obviously that, you know, we all go through that at some point, and it's really hard. You know, no one teaches you these things. You know, they don't teach you in school how to deal with the death of someone that you love, or a parent, or a friend. We're just not only really life. You just got to learn on the job, and I've had to really be strong and also be weak at the same time to get through it on a day-to-day basis. And I've had quite a lot of support from my family, which I appreciate, and a couple of friends, but it hasn't been easy. You know, there's times where I feel like I'm on my own. I feel like no one understands. And everyone who's going through grief would have felt like that, or if you're going through grief, it's so hard, you can't even put it into words, you know. At the same time, I'm really lucky and grateful that I had such a good friend, and, you know, we just had great times, so I don't have any regrets. You know, like, it must be hard for someone, heartbreaking when, and it's not people's fault, we're human. Let's say you had an argument with someone that you really love and then they passed away the next day, and then you feel so guilty, but it's not your fault. You know, we don't know what's going to happen. Tomorrow's not promised. So it's literally brought up every fear in me, you know, death, uncertainty, worrying about my family. I'm worried about losing someone again. It's just such a sad thing. But I have had immense amounts of joy because of my friend and what he meant to me, and, you know, he was loved by many people. He's just such a kind person, and so it's very hard, but it's made me care about people more. It's made me go deeper into my faith. It's made me really cherish life, and that's been kind of scary too. All of it's been scary. It's all been overwhelming. Even the joy, the love, it's been hard, I'm not going to deny it. But it's given me a strength that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't been going through the grief and the loss of a friend. So that's been really difficult. The second thing that's been really challenging for me is I've been battling with health anxiety. I found a lump on my stomach about 2 years ago, and I was worried. It turned out to be nothing serious, benign, but it really frightened me. I thought it was a tumour. I thought it was cancer. So that just triggered real bad anxiety, and I went and got scans, and it turned out it was fine, but it's triggered health anxiety. So I've been worrying about that. Anytime I get a mark or a bump, I've had to really work at that. So they're two of the major things that I've been dealing with, but I'm proud of myself for still being able to go work, help my clients, live an amazing life, just be able to get out and grow and do more than I've ever done. But it hasn't been easy, and I've had to really turn to my faith and really go back to being vulnerable, getting strength from vulnerability, faith, and real gratitude. So this is real, this isn't like where you just go in the mirror and you just say, I'm grateful for my trainers, this and that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but we've all done that. That's not genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude is this, when you're broken down, whether you've been broken down because you're so grateful, which I am. So this is probably one of the hardest times of my life, the most challenging, painful, lonely, frightening, but at the same time, it's probably the best time of my life because of the amount of joy and growth and maturity and the connections that I'm having, because the pain and the reality of life and death and how precious life is for all of us has hit me like a ton of bricks. So everything is a reminder of me. As soon as I wake up, I'm like, thank you. I'm literally, the first thing I say when I wake up is, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Lord, for another day. And it's genuine, So I can relate to anyone that's going through a death of a friend or someone. It is really difficult, Some people might deal with it better than others, but I'm sensitive underneath, and I always have been. I never dealt with death well. It's something that I'm having to learn to deal with. I'm being forced to, but I don't deal with it very well, especially when it's someone that I really love and care about, and I can't stop, but I take strength from my friend. He lived an amazing life. He was 47 years of age. He inspired me. I looked up to him. I love him with all my heart. Even people that didn't meet him through me really liked him and loved him. They just got a good feeling. He was a great person. But if anyone passed away, I'd be sad. Anyone. So I'm really processing the death of his life. I'm still obviously grieving. I'm going through grief. So I'm in a lot of pain. But contradictory to being in a lot of pain, I'm also in a lot of joy because I'm really happy that a lot of you are getting impacted from my work. I'm getting a blessing from the Lord, and it's given me strength that I don't know if any of you can relate to this. It's been said before, often we won't go to places of real strength and faith and humility if we're not really broken down and forced to, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that, that is not an egotistical statement. That is genuine, what I'm saying. I'm struggling to use words. But yeah, I've had to pray every day. I've had to pray and just say, Jesus, God, can you give me the strength? Because I want to, help my clients. I've got, they're looking to me for strength, and I can't always feel I can give it to everyone when I'm struggling to be strong for me, but the Lord always delivers, my faith. And I got through the mental health breakdown in 2017, and beautiful things came from that, one of which was my friendship with my friend. So I've had to really pray, because again, I don't have a manual on how to deal with grief, what you should do. Obviously people say their best, and it's not always, I can't always apply it right now, like you've got to move on, you've got to let go, but I can't right now, because it means so much to me, and I'm going through my own grief in the best way I can. But I appreciate people saying that. I understand, obviously my friend's passed away, he's not with me anymore, us in here, but I still think he's here in spirit. I do believe in the afterlife, I believe in heaven. So yeah, maybe it was meant to happen today. Maybe that I wasn't meant to do the live stream because I was meant to do this video and speak on these things. And I'm certain that a lot of people out there who are dealing with grief right now, and health anxiety or any sort of loss, especially the death of someone. Because I remember years ago when my nan died about 12, 13 years ago. My nan means everything to me. My nan passed away of leukemia, and I couldn't deal with it, man. I couldn't cope with it. Like I couldn't deal with it. I think I was 28. I was in a great place. I was dating. I was in love with my girlfriend. I was starting my business, and the most meaningful person, obviously including my mum and dad and my brother. My nan passed away, and I just couldn't deal with it. And I'm dealing with that as well at the moment, because I never grieved the death of my nan because I just couldn't. The only way I could deal with it was by I couldn't cope with it, because she just meant too much to me. It was too hurtful. My nan is the kindest person I've ever met in my life. So I can honestly say, despite the pain and the grief that I'm going through, knowing that I'm not the only one, that so many people out there, and what my nan means to me and what my friend Nick means to me, I feel grateful right now. I do feel really, really blessed. And the extra strength that I'm getting is not from me. It's not from me. I wouldn't even feel worthy to say it's from me. It's not true. It's from, I don't know where it's from. It's from God. It's from faith. It's from them. And it's from just wanting to do, be a better person and continue to do good things. So yeah, man, I've said it, I'll say it again. May my friend rest in peace. I hope that he's in a really beautiful place now, and he's at peace and he's not suffering anymore, and my nan as well. And I've prayed to both of them and thanked them for what they gave me, when they were living, or what they've continued to give me in their passing. But man, yeah, when I used to go on YouTube, guys and girls, and I'd watch people talking about the things that they've gone through, that I hadn't gone through yet, I always had compassion, and I always think, wow. But in the back of your mind, you're only human. Your own fears, you're like, you don't think that's going to happen to you until you go through it. But yeah, life is tough, man. Even when things are going well. So I can tell you the things in my life that I'm grateful for now. I'm blessed. I've got a roof over my head. I've got an apartment. I'm in a nice place now in this hotel. I can get coffee. Thank God I can pay my rent. My clients are doing well. I do a job that I absolutely love. I exercise every day. I love training. I eat healthy. Sometimes I don't. I have some really good friends and good support. I've got my faith, which means everything to me. I've really got my faith back in Christ, working on that. So those things mean everything to me. And I've lived a blessed life at 40 years, 40 years young. So I've got a lot of things to be grateful for. So I'm not losing sight of that. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I said that I'm not in a lot of pain right now, and I've got massive compassion for any of you that are. So we're just taking one day at a time in faith, and just pushing forward, and just trying to, sometimes I sit here and I say to myself, what would my friend want me to do? Would he want me just to leave him in peace and let go, or would he appreciate me speaking on his life and telling people what he meant to me, what his friendship did, the things that we did? And all right. And all those things, and I don't have all the answers, man. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything, but I think that knowing him the way I knew him when he was alive, he really appreciated how much I appreciated him, and little things he would have appreciated. So yeah, man, what a friend that he was to me. What a blessing, I didn't expect us to meet. It didn't happen planned. These are the miracles that happen. That's really is something to be grateful for. But yeah, if my honest confession today could help one person out there who's going through pain of grief of losing someone, or if they're going through health anxiety or any anxiety, any pain that they're going through, I'll feel so happy and grateful. I feel blessed just to have the courage and the strength to do this, because I've been speaking now for 14 minutes, but I've been speaking now for 12 years, and believe it or not, it still terrifies me. I'm still naturally, deep down, I still feel like a very shy, introverted person because of my background. But I've also got a confidence and a strength and a humility. When I need to do good things, which I love doing and help people, I get an extra courage that I wouldn't usually have for myself, if that makes sense. So it's a blessing to have the strength to do this. But yeah, man, I appreciate what my nan done for me. All those that have passed, man, this is where you start to appreciate faith, and that's when gratitude really does come in. So yeah, man, it's wow, the things that we go through as human beings, man, it just makes you compassionate to other people. The challenges of life, you know. I remember when I was in a honeymoon period, and it was when my business first took off, and I was in love with my girlfriend, so in love, it was beautiful. And I moved out of my parents, and everything was going well, man. I had the only challenges I had was the challenges of dealing with how much love and excitement that I had being young and successful. But at that time, I remember thinking and believing that it was always going to be like that, even though I knew, deep down. And obviously to have a mental health breakdown and to have my life ripped apart, and then to find my faith again and to be transformed, and it's been a continuous thing, and then to go through the tragedy again of losing someone, and health anxiety, having a health scare, even though it weren't the case, but I was worried that I had cancer. Man, it's like, and then hearing what other people go through, what some of my clients have gone through, what you go through, man, this is where you just got to use some humor. But yeah, I don't know how I do it, and I don't know how you do it, but all I know is you've got to keep pushing on, and that's where the training comes in, sharing, helping people, and just praying to keep going and pushing forward. So yeah, it's tough, and then you see the thing that I'm going through at the moment with grief, I can be on top of the world for a few hours, like I'm so happy, or I just feel so peaceful, which is amazing. Usually when I'm not planning, or I'm exercising, or I'm praying, or I finish helping a client, or I'm just cooking, but then it can just turn, and I can just feel that I'm in agony, and I'm just feeling overwhelmed with anxiety, with doubt, with uncertainty, with my mind going just questioning the meaning of life, which is all a normal human reaction from grief and from challenges, and being overjoyed, and then on another day I'm in tears of joy, because anything can make me cry. I can think of a cuddly cat and start bawling. I can think of times with family, or if I'm training, hitting the bag, I'm hitting the punch bag, I'm feeling the connection, I'll start crying like a softie. So that's growing for you, and sometimes I'd say to myself, don't complain, Jonathan, because you asked for a life of truth, of faith, of growing, of changing people's lives, changing your own. And it's like, I did ask, I just didn't know it'd be so painful at times. But yeah, man, we're all in it together, we're all human. So yeah, just trying to push through it, get through it, and hopefully honor the people that have passed and left great memories for us, and do the best we can whilst we're here.